ladies and gentlemen, Cone Dodger here. Welcome back to Formula 1 2018 for our last race of the 2018 season, our first season with Haas. That means we're headed to Abu Dhabi. That also means we have a little bit of R&D work to do to finish our season. You'll recall we went ahead and saved all of the regulation change stuff. So the regulations were going to change in the chassis and reliability departments, which are kind of two weird choices, but that is what we got. We have saved all of that, and we have moved back into developing the car. I have chosen already to develop the front wing end plates and the brake ducts, which is a drag improvement and a front downforce improvement. Those are going to be ready for Abu Dhabi, so the last race of the season. Very nice. And with 250 points remaining, I don't think I have anything else to do there. We'll save those points and see if we get some more in the last race of the season, and maybe that will boost us up a little bit more. And just a brief look at the progress. You can see with those upgrades, we should be just about tied with Red Bull and Mercedes. That's cool. I want to kind of overview the season a little bit right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 podiums in this season. And really, it was either top 5 or a bad day. The only outlier there is Coda, and is that Catalunya, I believe? So yeah, there's some outliers, but in general, we were a top 5 team all season. That's pretty encouraging. However, with the difficulty changes throughout the season, I think where we are at the end of the season is maybe a top 5 to maybe a podium competitor. So I'm interested to see how this last race goes and interested to see how the beginning of next season starts. And we can't get there until I stop babbling, so let's go to the next weekend. A short note, an aside. It seems like you unfortunately can't change the weather options. I was hoping we'd be able to disable all weather and have it always be sunny to avoid game issues. Maybe we can do that at the start of next season. Maybe we can't. Maybe you have to do it somewhere else. But as far as I can tell right now, we're stuck with what we got. Luckily, Abu Dhabi should be a dry race.
Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead
Heck
of
yeah.
FP1.
I want to see what we've done there, because I feel like that's going to be a pretty significant boost. Oh, but you look at that. Red Bull and Mercedes matched us. Red Bull actually took off. Red Bull, having huge upgrades into this last weekend, have pushed their car tied with Ferrari. I'm very curious to see how next season begins. Have Mercedes and Red Bull not saved this season's progress? Are they going to start next season worse off? And Ferrari, who look to be stagnant, have they saved all of this season's progress? Is it going to be us and Ferrari at the forefront of the field next season? That'll be interesting. I think even though we have upgrades this weekend, we're actually a little bit further behind the front 3 teams now than we were before. Interesting, going into a track in a weekend that is certainly not this driver's strong point. Alright, here we are out on track in Abu Dhabi. Interesting track here. This is one that's always been a little bit of a mystery to me. You remember way back in the day, if you go back to Formula 1 2011, 2012, somewhere in that era, you actually started the game on this track, where you would start the game before you had the option to do anything. You would go to a driver introduction day, basically, almost like a recruitment day, and you would be on this track, and you would prove yourself. You would kind of do a little test, and it would see where you were in your skills and try to basically accommodate you. It would build the game around you with those qualifications. I bring that up as I completely missed turn 1. I bring that up because I liked that feature. I liked that feature a lot. I think that's good game design. However, the problem was, I've always sucked at this track, so whenever I would do those, it would always recommend and put the difficulty way too easy for me, thinking that, well, I sucked. When it turned out, in reality, it was kind of just this track that I sucked at. So I don't really know why that is, but there's certain tracks on the calendar that click with me more than others. I think that's probably true for everybody. But this was one of the ones that never really clicked with me. We're gonna try and undo that. I mean, I've had some decent races here for sure. It's not Monaco, it's not Singapore, it's not one that when I go into it, I, you know, just have a scowl on my face. But, I mean, I think you can probably tell already. It's just one that I don't find a natural way around. Some tracks, they just speak to me, and they naturally draw me to the racing line. This track just always seems so awkward to me. I never really feel comfortable with the racing line. It doesn't help that it's a visually very difficult track. Alright, I gave myself a lap here to try and find my way.
This is the final lap of the program.
I still don't feel ultimately super comfortable. See, I can't make that first one for some reason. To get purple in the first two, it's just way too fast for the third gate. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's just a track that I know that I have to take a little bit of extra practice time at to get acquainted with it. I think a lot of it is a visual thing. These tracks that are modern in construction, they have walls very far from the edge for safety. They're sparse in their, you know, natural terrain. It actually looks more like a city course to me than a circuit. You know, visually, I find it very difficult to find good, reliable markers and turn-in points and such. So I think that's why I tend to struggle with these kinds of courses. Even Bahrain is a little bit similar in that regard, but I find the layout of Bahrain to be a bit easier to deal with. Flows just a little better, but never, you know, my best track. This section here gets particularly tricky. The car gets very light through there. And here, really putting the chassis to work through here, and I don't know that this car shines too much in that department. A little bit sideways in last turn. Well, it wasn't a good enough lap for perfect, but
head on back to the garage and we'll start going over the data.
At least I'm getting somewhere with it. Boy, that first turn's really ugly for me, though. Alright, well, work to do. Work to do. Alright, I'm on lap 3 now. Well, now, of the race program.
We asked for. Keep it up.
The car has decent pace. Well, let me actually backtrack on that. The car has really good balance. I'm a bit worried about the pace. I think maybe it's not got enough grip in the slow portions of the track at the moment, and I'm really worried about the overall pace in Sector 3. It doesn't get around right there as well as some of the cars I've had in the past. So it's got some positives and some negatives. As always with the track, I'm worried most about Sector 3. We'll just have to see if it's got enough. I mean, I've been able to do the race strategy program, and that generally has us at a pace that is, you know, raceable. I do think that it's, again, rather hard on the tires. I would like to, after maybe we get a little bit further in the aero development. Ooh, it really washed on me there. I would like to focus some attention into chassis development and especially tire wear and heat management development. So maybe back to the chassis side a little bit. So perhaps what we'll do is, at the end of this season, use our remaining resource points probably again on aero, because I want to really excel there. But then, let me hit these last few turns. planning ahead for next season, starting the season focusing on the chassis. Alright, we did what we needed to do.
So far, we're getting great data.
But it just feels too messy. I'm having to curb the car rather aggressively, and it's not really handling the curbs super well. Yeah. Having to push it further than I would like. Further than my comfort zone to meet the minimum time. So, we'll see. We'll go out and do a qualifying lap and see how we do. And we're just going to have time to do 1, maybe 2 laps, but that should be plenty for a qualifying run. We're out on the Hyper Soft tire. I do think we're on softer compounds than we were in 2017 here, which is helping my feel for the track a little bit. Here we go. I made just a very small suspension change to the car. Oh, Hartley, don't mess this up for us. Don't mess this up for us. I got a little distracted and actually caught more curve than I wanted to, seeing him over there. But basically I just softened up the suspension a little bit, trying to get the car to take the bumps a little bit better. And by bumps, sorry, I messed up DRS majorly there. By bumps I mean the curbs, really, because I feel like I have to use a lot of curb with the car here. So if we could take those a little bit nicer, we could probably get more time out of it. But to only be 2/10 up here, even though I borked up DRS in the straightaway, is not a good thing, because we're going to lose time in that last sector. I can feel it. Unless maybe the change made the car come to life a bit, which actually it felt really nice right there. Ah, but it washed wide on me there. That's too bad. This is actually not even going to be a good enough lap, I don't think, for a decent result. Although it kind of rocketed through these last set of turns. Might be enough.
Well,
no!
That lap beats our primary target time.
Not quite. I highly doubt it would have a second lap in it. Target was 5th and we got 9th for an optimal result. Okay, well, that's not a super encouraging result. Lots of time left on the table there, though. I'm definitely still struggling with getting the most out of the car here. Okay, well, we'll move on from there. That's okay.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top 3. Red, Magnussen, and Valtteri Bottas. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds.
Take a picture of this. I want to see more of this next season. That's what we're aiming for. Haas 1-2. Granted, we're the only 2 of that front pack that did a qualifying run, but you know, that's here nor there.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went?
I think it went pretty
You
well.
spent a lot of time on the track during practice. Does the car have enough reliability to sustain that?
Yeah, let's continue to pump up that aero department.
You had an incredible pace in practice. Would you
Aero, aero, aero. All the time, aero.
appreciate your time?
I appreciate the aero department's time. Hey, I'm sorry.
Here we are at the beautiful Yas Marina circuit where qualifying is about to begin. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the action.
Will do. I'll enjoy it from the driver's seat, in fact. Let us... I want to make sure I don't have any extra fuel in this thing. I'm using a Coda-based setup here because I felt like the 2 tracks had something in common. Just in the way that I... Honestly, in the way that I struggled with the car. I felt like I had a common struggle point here between the 2. So that's why I went the direction I did. But let's go under Park for May and do a flying lap here. Shouldn't have too much issue getting out of Q1. Q2 should be okay. Q3, I don't know, we might struggle. We'll see. As always here, the sun goes down in qualifying, which changes the track and also changes the view of the track a bit. I actually much prefer it at night oddly. I find it much easier to find the track as the sea of gray starts to have some more gradient to it. Okay, turn 1 is a struggle for me. You gotta wait a lot longer than it looks. Turn 2, try and stay off that curb. Try and stay flat through here. These new soft tires make it much easier to do that. The chicane, it's really important to get enough curb right there, but not too much there. Get down to the inside here, get back to the gas as soon as you can. Nice. DRS. It's really the slow, lazy way that he reaches for that button that bothers me. Just a bit too late to the brakes there, not too bad. You can see it definitely affected the exit. DRS there again. Braking just after the 100. Down to second gear. Make sure you get those left tires to the curb. Here as well. Flat through these right-handers. Blind braking point here. Oh, very nice lap so far. A little bit wide there, but not too bad. A bit wide there as well. Could take that as more of a single apex. Get lots of curve there, not too much on the outside. Blind apex right there as it dips down. 36.2. I'm quite pleased with that, I must say. That's some positive momentum as we head into the rest of the qualifying programs. I don't know where that voice just came from, but it was snarky and delicious. That's quite an interesting top 5. Vettel, Red, me. Bottas, Alonso, Magnussen. A lot of people using Ultra Softs in that first qualifying though, saving hypers probably for the race. So we'll take that with a grain of salt. But we'll keep moving on. Alright, now headed out for a Q2 lap. Let's try to not abuse the tires. That's the big goal for our Q2 lap. It takes so long to get back to the gas, and it was still not long enough. Ooh. Strange double shift there. I have to overreact to it, basically. I felt like I didn't grab the pedal hard enough, but apparently I had. Shifted twice. DRS. Nice little brake here. Try not to outbrake myself, speaking of brakes. Much nicer. Much nicer than the first Q1 lap. Ah, he didn't reach for the button that time. Overall, I don't think this has been quite as smooth as our Q1 lap. But it hasn't been awful. Get wide there as well. However, I made that turn a little bit shorter and a little bit cleaner this time. A bit wide there as well. Overall, it's just been a much messier lap than Q1. Still a 36-1. Okay, well, not too concerned then. Feeling pretty good. I actually feel a lot better now than I did in practice, so hopefully that's good things for the future. Alright, Q2 results starting to look a little bit more standard. Ricardo, Räikkönen, Cone, red. Verstappen, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Magnussen, Alonso, Sainz. So, are we missing somebody? Is there somebody that dropped out, strangely? No, not really. But the Force Indias. Yeah, the Force Indias are down versus the Renaults and the McLarens. A little bit strange. Okay, on to Q3. Nighttime skies for Q3. Should be the best of conditions, really. Should be a rocket down the straightaways. Also, the visuals are very good right now. You can see what I mean about the surface of the track, hopefully, where there's just a much better defined racing line at night than there is during the day. Should help me out a little bit. Oh, I tried a different line through one there. I don't know if it was effective, really. No extra shift this time. Now I'm probably just going to treat this as a betting lap and go ahead and do 2 in Q3. No reason to save parts, really. Boy, I don't know what is going on, but the DRS activation is being very lazy, and it's making me think it doesn't open when it like, because I hit the button and then the driver on the wheel does not move his thumb for another like couple seconds after. It's tricking me, bamboozling me. A little bit of a harsh downshift there, but it actually helped it rotate. Back end wanted to kick out on me a bit. Not a big deal, actually. It helped the car rotate. Imagine we're going to be in the 5s for pole position. And we're at 36.3. Yeah, that's a decent lap, but obviously more left in it. We'll go out and try another one.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Alright, let's go for that 35 if we can. A little bit more of a traditional line through here. Didn't really help that much, actually. Finally coming around now. I think I just got a little bit better of an exit, so a better run. Down to there. I think that was actually a purple sector 1. Boy, that was really nice through there. I feel like I got up onto the straightaway very well. 1 activation, please. Yes, thank you. See, there was a good 10th in it there. Nice and smooth through here. Curb it if you need to. Really nice. Really nice lap so far. That is 2 purples in a row. Very slight moment there, but nothing major. Car didn't jump out on me this time. Not great, but not bad. Really had to will the car through the last turn. Got my 58, or sorry, got my 58. Got my 35, but it was not enough for pole, but still a really nice time. Really nice. That will do it for qualifying in Season 1. See where we end up.
The grid is all set then for the race
Wow.
tomorrow. But before we
Wow.
go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top 3, who are Vettel, Raikkonen, and Daniel Ricciardo. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
I'll be honest, I think that is down to car there. Ferrari obviously didn't move too much ahead, but I think Red Bull and Mercedes improved their car so much this weekend, just couldn't overcome that. I'm really happy with my lap, and couldn't ask for much more, so 6th place is okay. We'll start from there and see where we end up. Is there any interview after qualifying today? Oh man, it's a stressful track, that's for sure, but this is a pretty stressless weekend. There's not a lot I'm going against, but I would like to finish in front of Ricciardo in points. So we need to finish at least near him in the race. Alright, no interview. The rivalries are going pretty well. I think we're probably going to be able to defeat Ricardo before the end of the season. Maybe. Depends on how the race goes, of course. There's your reps. And
Well
there's
done.
the end.
Very solid results. You're looking good for the race.
More of the same in the race is what she actually said up there. We'll try that. Stay tuned tomorrow for that. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.